Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. It's been a while since we did a video on mechanical keyboards. This time around we have 3 from Armaggeddon. We're taking a look at the SMK series, which is the brand's low-profile mechanical keyboard series. We have 3 models to look at today. The priciest is the SMK 12R, followed by the SMK 6C and the 10 keyless SMK 2C. Before we go any further, let's do a quick unboxing of all 3 keyboards. So let's unbox the smallest one first, the SMK 2C. So in the box, you have 2 pullers, one for the switches and one for the keycaps, along with 2 extra switches which are hot swappable, but we'll get back to that later. So the keyboard itself is here. This is the SMK 2C 10 keyless. Very light, very nimble. Let's see what else is in the box. And you get the cable, of course, USB 2.0 cable to a micro USB head. So that's the first keyboard done. Let's move on to the next. This keyboard is the SMK 6C and it's pretty much just the same keyboard as this one, except it's a full-sized model. 104 keys on this. And you get pretty much the same thing. Yeah, so in terms of accessories, you get the same pullers and you also get the same amount. Oh, this time you get 3 extra switches instead of 2. And here is your keyboard. Comes with foam packaging on the side to protect it. So interestingly, this one has the cable already attached to it, unlike the 2C, which has a detachable micro USB cable. So again, the same exact keyboard, except this is 10 keyless, this is a full-size keyboard. Now we move on to the most expensive version, the SMK 12R. Let's quickly take a look at the accessories. The SMK 12R, the one that we have, comes with the red switches along with the same 2 pullers. Again, non-detachable USB cable. So the SMK 12R, which is the most expensive variant, this is also a full-sized keyboard. So total of 104 keys. Now let's talk about design. All 3 keyboards are black in color and are mostly made of plastic. The keycaps here are Kevlar Tech contoured keycaps, so they curve just a little bit and slant just a little bit for better typing. On the spacebar, you see the words "The Ultimate Gaming Gear" printed right on top, and it's the same across all 3 keyboards, as well as the Armaggeddon branding on the right shift key. You also see the branding printed on the right shift along with the model name printed right above your arrow keys. Let's talk about design first. All 3 keyboards are black in color and are made mostly of plastic. Being low-profile keyboards, they are incredibly thin. I measured them and all 3 keyboards are about 2.5 centimeters, including the keycaps itself. Everything else looks really clean and easy to see. These are Kevlar Tech contoured keycaps and they are curved just a bit to make typing a little easier. Last thing I noticed about the keycaps is that they are narrower than what I'm used to, but they are spaced out quite nicely, so no problems there. In terms of weight, the 10 keyless version, the SMK 2C, is a bit on the lighter side. When you type on it, there is some hollowness to it, which is the same across the whole range, but that's not really a huge problem for me considering it's an affordable keyboard. Now the full-size keyboards, the 6C and the 12R, they are slightly heavier, they have a bit more heft to it, so if you want something more robust, I would suggest you go for that one. I forgot to mention that all keyboards come with a stand at the bottom to lift your keyboard up at an angle, just like so. All 3 keyboards come with Outemu switches. The 2C and 6C only come with blue switches, which are tactile and very clicky. Meanwhile, the 12R, the top of the line variant, comes with 3 switches, red, blue, and black. So you can choose whichever one you want. So this one is the 2C. I'm gonna remove one of the keycaps using the puller that comes with it and show you what's underneath. It's a bit difficult compared to what I'm used to. There you go. So underneath is a blue Outemu switch. I'm going to try and attempt to swap these switches because they are hot swappable and can be done on the fly. Now to swap the switches, all you need is the tweezer that comes in the box. Align it top and bottom of the switch. There's an indentation in the bottom, make sure it fits right in, and just pull, tug on it a bit harder, whoops, and it's gone. So now that the old switch is out, replace it with the new one. Make sure that you align the connectors at the bottom, like so. Push hard, make sure that it's flush. Now that it's flush, place the keycap back on. There you go. These Outemu switches have a 50 million key press life cycle, and the 2C as well as the 6C have 9 backlit effects. They are not addressable or programmable RGBs, but you can change the modes. So this is one of them. There are a few modes. This is reactive, laser, or you can just hit reset. Now that we have the Armaggeddon program installed for the 12R, you can set up to 3 profiles in terms of lighting, macros, and just to show you how it works, you simply click on a profile, set the kind of macro you want to set for your RTS games or whatnot, change the lighting. So I like profile 2 because I have snake mode turned on, click apply, and if you look at the keyboard, it reflects. So of course these are addressable RGBs, so you get really cool effects too when you hit FN mode. It is also of course reactive. You can also change the modes using the presets on your keyboard itself by hitting FN mode. There are a few here, and this, it goes back to my preset, which is snakes. Now we move on to the moment you've all been waiting for, the sound test. I'm gonna start with the SMK2C first. This one comes with the Outemu blue switches, which are tactile and very clicky. So let's start with the sound test. Now from what I can tell, the Outemu blue switches do feel a little like the Cherry MX blue switches. It's also very light with that tactile bump. The tactile bump, the actuation point is actually not too far. So if you are a touch typer, which I'm not, you're gonna love this keyboard. Now, but if you are someone who bottoms out like me, you're gonna want to go for the red switches, which come in the SMK 12R. So let's test that out first. Now I'm typing on the Outemu red switches. These don't have any tactile bumps, and I'm going to bottom up like I usually do. So let's start the sound test. Now the red switches are incredibly quiet with no tactile bump, so this is really good for people who like to bottom out like me, as I mentioned before. And it's also good for gamers as well, people who constantly press on the WASD keys, such as the FPS gamers or adventure game players who play with their keyboards. Now the blue switches are good for people who like touch typing, like I mentioned before, or RTS gamers who want quick response, so they feel that tactile actuation point. Yeah, so pick your poison, I guess. You do have to remember that the red switches, black and blue switches only come with the SMK 12R. After testing out all 3 keyboards, I personally prefer the blue switches because I like the tactile bump, which is good for typing. But the SMK 12R is good too, even with the red switches, because I mainly like the programmable LEDs. Now the benefits of having a low profile keyboard is that it allows your hands on your wrist to be at a more natural position, at a more flatter angle, as opposed to something that may lift up your wrist too high and it may put strain on your wrist. So because these keyboards are also incredibly light and thin, they can be incredibly portable as well, which is useful for people who travel a lot, like esports gamers and whatnot. Now, low profile keyboards are not new. A lot of brands do them, but they do them quite expensively as well. The good thing about Armaggeddon's low profile keyboards is that they keep them affordable while not sacrificing too much in build quality. They feel great, they look great, and the cheapest of the lot, the SMK2C, only costs 119 ringgit. This is the 10 keyless version. The 6C, the full keyboard with no addressable RGB, cost 159 ringgit. Top of the line SMK 12R with addressable and programmable RGBs cost 209 ringgit only, which is a fraction of what some keyboards of this design would cost. So if you're interested in getting these Armaggeddon SMK low profile keyboards, the link is in the description box below. Let us know down in the comment section below which version would you buy. This is Victor signing off. Remember to subscribe and give us a like. Bye bye.